You've probably looked up at the night sky and thought about it. Could we actually live up there, among the stars? But what does that really take? And I'm not just talking about a quick trip, a space vacation. I mean living there, building a home, growing your own food, starting a family, the whole shebang. A real, permanent life beyond Earth. You see, on the one hand, we have this incredible science fiction dream of building new worlds. But on the other hand, we have the scientific reality. And that reality is that space isn't just empty, it's one of the most hostile, deadly environments we've ever encountered. So let's dive into that gap between the dream and the very dangerous reality.
To really get a handle on the challenge, let's do a quick thought experiment. It's a little grim, but stick with me. What would happen to your body, right now, if you were suddenly exposed to the raw vacuum of space? Let's break it down.
Well, first, the obvious one. There's no air. At all. And it's not just that you couldn't take a breath. The vacuum would literally pull the air right out of your lungs. You'd lose consciousness in about 15 seconds.
At the exact same time all that is happening, your body would be hit with some of the most insane temperature swings imaginable. And I'm not talking about just needing a sweater.
If you're in shadow, the temperature plummets to a mind-numbing minus 150 degrees Celsius. But the second you float into sunlight, it skyrockets to 120 degrees Celsius. That's hotter than boiling water. You'd be flash frozen and then boiled. Your body just can't handle it.
And then there's maybe the weirdest, most terrifying part. The lack of pressure. Here on Earth, the atmosphere pushes on us all the time, just holding us together. Without that pressure, the nitrogen dissolved in your blood would instantly turn into gas bubbles. Your fluids would, quite literally, begin to boil from the inside out. It's a gruesome, horrifying end.
So what does this all tell us? It boils down to one simple fact. Our bodies, every single part of us, are perfectly tuned to live right here on planet Earth, and absolutely nowhere else. We just are not built for space.
So, if space is that deadly, how do astronauts manage to stay up there at all? Well, they live inside this incredible, high-tech bubble called the International Space Station. But as we're about to see, there's a massive difference between just surviving and actually living.
You can basically think of the ISS as the most complex life support machine ever created. Its entire job, 24/7, is to create a tiny, fragile imitation of Earth in the middle of that deadly void.
And just look at the complexity here. For every single thing we take for granted, air to breathe, you need oxygen generators. Water to drink, you need an unbelievably advanced system that recycles every last drop of moisture, including sweat and urine, back into drinking water. And to fight off the effects of zero gravity, astronauts have to exercise for hours every single day.
But even with all of that incredible tech, there's one thing the ISS can't fully protect them from: radiation. In a single year, an astronaut on the station is exposed to the same amount of radiation as, get this, 10,000 chest X-rays.
And that is a heavy price to pay. The radiation is just the start. Life in space is a constant war against the decay of your own body. Even with all that exercise, astronauts experience bone loss and muscle shrinkage. Their vision can get permanently damaged, and without a normal day and night, their sleep schedules are a mess. So even inside our best attempt at a safe bubble, the human body is just struggling.
Okay, so if the ISS is basically just high-tech survival gear, what would it take to build a real home? A place where people could not just visit, but live for their whole lives, even for generations. What's the recipe for a true space habitat?
Well, the checklist is daunting. You'd need artificial gravity, probably from a huge rotating structure to stop our bodies from falling apart. You'd need massive shields against radiation, maybe made of thick walls of water or rock. And on top of that, you'd have to grow 100% of your own food, recycle every bit of air and water perfectly, and figure out how to keep people mentally healthy when they're trapped in a can millions of miles from home.
When you add all that up, you realize what the real task is. You're not just building a bigger space station. You are literally trying to build a miniature self-sustaining Earth and then wrap it in a metal shell. The scale of that is just mind-boggled.
So where would we even try something like this? The moon's close, which is a plus, but with no atmosphere and brutal radiation, it's a really tough spot. Mars is much farther away and incredibly cold, but it has a thin atmosphere, it has resources, it gives us something to work with. It's still an unbelievable challenge, but it's probably our best long-term shot. But you know what? Let's say we do it.
Let's say we solve all of those engineering problems. We get the air, the water, the gravity, the shielding. There is still one final massive question, and it's the one that will truly decide if humanity has a future beyond Earth.
It's this simple. Can we have children? Can we raise families in an environment so completely alien to our fundamental biology? That right there, that is the ultimate unanswered question.
And the truth is, we know almost nothing about this. Seriously, we have no idea how microgravity and radiation would affect sperm or eggs. We don't know if an embryo could even form properly. And how would a baby's bones and organs and brain develop without the constant pull of Earth's gravity? No human has ever been conceived off-planet, let alone born. We are completely in the dark.
Which really brings it all back to this one powerful idea. With all our incredible technology, we are still, fundamentally, creatures of Earth. We're trying to force our biology to work in a place that is actively hostile to it, a place that really doesn't want us there.
So I'll leave you with this final thought. We might be able to solve the engineering challenges, but can we solve the biological ones? Or are we, by our very nature, an earthbound species forever? The answer to that question is going to define the entire future of humanity.